Well, hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Cynthia Tomaine with Interactive Brokers, and you've joined us today for a new webinar on growing your business with IBKR's Broker Portal. I'm very pleased to have with me today a colleague, Dave Nelson, who is going to be going through the information that we now have available to you through the Broker Portal. So, Dave, I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter. If you could share your desktop, let's get underway. Thanks for joining us today, Dave.
Good morning. Welcome to Growing Your Business through IBKR CRM Broker Portal. I'm Dave Nelson, and I will be presenting the webinar. You can ask questions at any time, as Cynthia said, using the chat, and those questions will be fielded by Anthony Catino. Whether you want to branch out on your own or you have a successful brokerage business, keeping track of prospects and clients is an essential function of your business offering. Interactive Brokers' database-driven customer relationship management, CRM, lets brokers manage the entire life cycle of those relationships in one place, the Broker Portal, at no extra cost. Enjoy the freedom and flexibility to run your business with no contract and minimal startup and overhead costs at Interactive Brokers. Let's get started and take a walk through the dashboard. Logging into the Broker Portal will take you to the Broker Portal homepage. Here you can see several tabs, the first of which is Dashboard. If your homepage does not look like this, you're probably in Legacy Account Management, and you can click the green New AM button on the lower right side of the screen to switch to the new Broker Portal. Starting with the Dashboard tab, let's familiarize ourselves with the layout of the page. The Pending Items tab shows the date, account title, account number, and status of items that need your attention. Pending items can include account opening or closing related activities, funding, transfers, and other types of client account activities. Within the Pending Items table, click on an Account ID hyperlink, and that opens the contact information for that account. The Recent Activity tab shows the date, account title, and account number for each activity. Activities can include funding, account opening or closing activities, and other types of client account activities. The display can be quickly sorted in ascending or descending order by clicking a column header and scrolling. If no activity has occurred during the last 10 days, a message to that effect is displayed. You can also search recent activity and pending items by entering text in the search field. To the right is a notifications area where inquiries and corporate actions will appear. Overall assets under management and year-to-date returns are displayed in the chart to the right. Use the mouse to hover the cursor over the chart for additional details. Below that, you'll see a small calendar with indicators for events and a link to the full calendar where you can create those events. Underneath the Pending Items Recent Activity panel, you'll see panels for tasks, notes, and documents. New items can be added to these panels using the icons to the right of each section. We started with the dashboard. Now let's examine the other tabs to the right. We have Contacts. This is a directory of all prospects and clients. Fee Administration. From this tab, you may configure your client fees, fee templates, and create invoices. Later, I will show you how to configure fees for an account and demonstrate how to create a client fee template. Next is Queries. This tab allows you to run performance reports. After that is Groups. Groups allow you to create groups of clients and prospects based on any criteria you like. Transaction History. This tab will display up to 90 days worth of funding transactions, enabling you to find cash deposits and withdrawals, inbound and outbound position transfers, and transfers within your account ecosystem. We'll take a look at that later. Then we have Calendar. The calendar may be viewed on a daily or monthly basis. Later, I will show you how to create events that will be displayed on the dashboard view as they approach. The last tab is Email. Interactive Brokers partners with a third-party cloud management solution provider, Rackspace, in order to store emails, notes, tasks, events, and documents for each contact. IB neither stores nor has access to that data. To use notes, tasks, events, and documents, you must configure a Rackspace password. This is because these features are Rackspace integrated services, and you will need secure access from inside CRM safeguarded by a password. To create a Rackspace password, from the menu, click on Settings, User Settings, and from the Login section, locate the item CRM Rackspace Password. Use the gear icon to create and save your secure password. There's no charge for using tasks, notes, events, and document storage. To use email functionality, you must request a CRM Rackspace mailbox. This is required because email is hosted on Rackspace and they must configure a mailbox. When you first view the email tab, you will see the mailbox request form. Enter the information and use the button to submit your request. Once the mailbox is open and your email settings have been configured, your email functionality is accessible from the dashboard. There are some caveats about using email addresses. You will need to use an established email address with a pre-existing domain for Rackspace to create the inbox. You may not use public domains such as Yahoo, Gmail, Hotmail, or Outlook. Finally, note that by integrating with a Rackspace email, you'll be charged a small fee, although these are the only costs associated with our broker portal. So that's an overview of the dashboard. Let's try to complete a few tasks that a broker may want to do routinely, such as adding individual contacts, importing contacts using Excel, sending an open an account invitation to prospects, configuring client fees, viewing clients' transaction history, and using CRM's calendar and scheduling events. So let's add a prospect. Let's start by adding prospects from the Contacts tab. Entries can be made individually or importing via Excel spreadsheet or vCard. Click the plus icon to add a contact. There are a few other icons here that I'll mention. After the plus, there is an icon for sending application invites. After that, you see the arrows icon is for refreshing the page. After that is a filter, which allows you to filter the contacts you see on the table. And the last is a gear icon, and this is for configuring the columns displayed on the Contacts tab. Click on the filter icon to filter your view of contacts by a number of parameters. The type filter will be either prospect or client. Expand the account type filter to filter by specific account types, individual, trust, hedge fund, or others. The status filter offers six stages of account or application progress. You can quickly search for a contact by entering their name or account number into the search bar on the upper right and clicking the magnifying glass. Once you've added a number of clients and prospects, these tools will enable you to easily display only the information you want, such as prospects only, hedge fund clients only, or the subset of prospects with account applications in progress. So now we're going to get back to adding a prospect. To manually add a prospect, click on the plus icon, then select Manual Input, and the form will appear. Note that contacts can be saved with very little information. You can save a prospect with only a first and last name, and you can always add more information as the relationship develops. However, the more data you enter about the prospect, the better. And this can save time when it comes to sending account invitations to prospects. When creating those invitations, the account application will be pre-filled with the inputs added to the prospect's record. The prospect can then review and modify any incorrect information and submit the account application. On the form here, you can see that some fields are free-form input while others have a drop-down menu to offer selections. The input fields cover the client's contact information, their residential address, their tax information, their employment information, and prospect information. These are fields that allow you to assign an account type, a priority, and the marketing source for each of the prospects. Once you have entered all this information, all the information you have at hand, click Continue at the bottom right. A review page will be displayed, and then you can click OK to submit. The prospect will be added, and now you can search for him on the Contacts tab. Quickly enter the name in the search bar to see how the new prospect appears. Now let's add a prospect using the import function with an Excel spreadsheet. Click on the Add button, and this time select Contact by Excel file. This requires you to download an Excel template, which is pre-populated with field headers to organize the data properly. Click the link to download the template. The template has several tabs. You will only create contact information using the data input page. There are additional tabs that contain abbreviations and other examples. The form is intuitive and easy to use. If you have your prospect data in an existing database or spreadsheet, it may need to be mapped to this new format. Once your spreadsheet is ready, return to this page and click Choose a File to select it and then import it. The software will alert you to the location of any input errors in the sheet. You must fix these before the sheet can be uploaded. When done, you will see a message stating the number of contacts that have been added. Remember that information entered into the prospect's record will pre-fill the account application later when it comes time to sending that prospect an invite. So now let's say one of your prospects is ready to open an account. Let's return to those icons above the search bar on the Contacts tab. Next to the Add Contact icon is the icon for Send Application Invite. You can start an application from either the dashboard or by drilling down to a prospect. If the application is started at the prospect level, the application will be pre-filled, pre-populated with the information from that record. When you click the Send Application Invite icon, you'll see that there are two methods for completing a client application, fully and semi-electronic. For the fully electronic, you send an email invitation to the client and the client completes an electronic application. For the semi-electronic application, you as the broker complete the application. You must enter all of the client's information, then you will print it and send it to the client for them to sign. Once they have done so, the application is returned to Interactive Brokers for processing. For the fully electronic application, you'll enter the client's name, email address, then click Continue. And the next in the sequence, you'll have a chance to apply a fee template. If you have previously configured templates, they will be available in a drop-down menu. Or if you wish to use one, you'll select it and click Yes. Or you may wish to configure the fees manually. In that case, you'll click No and continue. More on this later when we look at configuring client fees. After you've made these choices and click Continue, you'll have a chance to review the invitation before sending it, and then you'll click the Continue button. Then you'll see a message confirming that the invitation was sent successfully to the email address you entered. You click OK to return to the Contacts page. Fully disclosed brokers can approve all client applications and client option trading permissions. If you enable this setting, all client applications and client requests for option trading permission must be approved by you before they are completed. The broker can enable this approval feature under Account Settings, Client Approval. When approval is enabled, you will see account applications that are pending approval on the home page in the Pending Items panel. To approve these items, select the pending item that requires approval, add any comments related to the account, then click Yes and then Approve. Now let's look at the Fee Administration tab. Here you have the option to configure client fees, configure client fee templates, or configure invoices. When you click on the button to configure client fees, an account picker will display to the right of the screen. Use the search bar or filters to locate the client whose fees you wish to configure. When you select a client, you will see the existing fee structure for that client, and the client's account number will be displayed in a light blue pill at the top of the page. Remember, you won't see prospects here as they do not have fees to configure. Use the Configure, the pencil icon, at the right to review and make any changes. To recall the account picker, click the blue pill again. For a deeper look at configuring client fees, let's turn to the Fees template icon. It may be efficient to create several fee templates so that when sending invitations, you don't have to recreate the fees each time. Brokers may create multiple fee templates to send out to clients as needed. Click the Configure Fee Template button. Here, previously saved templates will be named, edited, or deleted. To remind yourself how a specific template was configured, click on the information icon to the left of any template. Use the plus button to start a new template. Enter a template name and click the Continue button. Use the Fee Strategy drop-down menu to determine whether to charge fixed or tiered fees. Depending on your selections from the drop-down menu, choices will appear. These are not necessarily either or choices. By clicking the boxes to the left of any method, brokers may further configure rules for setting fees. Let's look at each type of fee. Invoicing. Checking the invoicing box enables brokers to establish maximum fees for a billable period or set maximum fees as a percentage of net liquidation value. Start by determining the applicable invoicing cycle as either monthly or quarterly. Then enter a maximum dollar amount in the first field or a percentage value in the lower field. Next, we have interest rate. Brokers can mark down credit or short proceed credit interest or mark up debit interest. Then we have fee per trade unit. Brokers may charge a fee per trade by configuring this section. When the box is checked, products on which fees may be charged per trade unit are displayed. These are FX, futures options, futures, and single stock futures. Click on one of the categories and select the products displayed. These include ticket charges, minimum and maximum values, and absolute or percentage markups. Users must input a value for at least the absolute or percentage markup fields before continuing. Complete the per trade section where applicable for remaining products and categories, and you are ready to save your template by clicking the continue button. A message will be displayed to show you that you have finished, and you may navigate back to the template configuration screen and view your saved template. You may create multiple fee templates and select appropriately when sending invitations to clients. The fees configured will appear in the client's contact profile. The next tab is for transaction history. This page will display up to 90 days worth of funding transactions, enabling you to find cash deposits and withdrawals, inbound and outbound position transfers, and transfers within your account ecosystem. The status of such transfers is displayed on this page and can be refined by date range and sorted by clicking on column headers. You may also search by account ID, transaction type, transaction method, or status. The display may be printed or exported to Excel. Users may cancel or modify transactions or even stop payments on a check withdrawal. The column displays may be configured by accessing the gears icon to the right and placing a check alongside those columns you wish to see. Use the transaction type, method, and status controls to group transactions. For example, use the transaction type header to group transactions by deposit, outbound, or inbound items. Click on any transaction row to create a pop-up display window for that specific item. Note the status for the transaction. Any pending items may be canceled by clicking the cancel button followed by a yes to confirm its cancellation. Likewise, pending checks or wires may be modified prior to the funds moving. The calendar tab displays the current monthly view by default, and today's date is highlighted in yellow. Use the left and right buttons at the top left of the page to go back and forward by month. Use the month and list icons to alter the display between monthly and weekly. Above that is the add icon. When clicked, this adds an event to the calendar. This feature enables you to create events, display them on the calendar, and associate them with your contacts. Populate the details, adding a time slot, and enter at least 3 letters of the contact's name. Choose one or multiple contacts and click Save. The event will now appear on the calendar display. The event will also appear on the small calendar display on the dashboard view. Events may also be edited from there. So we've covered all the major components of the broker portal interface in this webinar, but as you can see, there's plenty other nooks and crannies that we didn't investigate. For a complete guide to the new broker portal interface, you can find the user's guide on the IBKR website from the education menu under the link to documentation. You can also send us questions at any time. Send them to crm@interactivebrokers.com. Thank you for attending.
Well, thank you, Dave, and thanks everyone for participating in our session today. I see there are some questions that are open, and so if you do have questions, I'm going to leave the event open. You can add those into that questions panel. We'll leave the session up for about another 5 minutes or so, make sure that we can get you those answers. Otherwise, notice on the screen, if you do have questions after today's session, please send them to crm@interactivebrokers.com. Thank you for your participation with us here today, and remember to check your email later on for a direct link to today's recorded playback, as well as access to the user guide for additional information on the new broker portal. So with that, thank you all for your participation here this afternoon. Have a great rest of your day, all. You can exit using the X in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.